Hey guys, I am back, still at the beach in Abu Dhabi, coming to you live from Shoptalk Luxe, interviewing some of the most innovative, amazing leaders in the world of luxury retail. And next up, I actually have one of my favorite brands, but I feel I am not repping how much I love this brand and all jewelry brands, because I've really not got my jewelry game on today. No necklace.
We gotta kid you out.
Yeah, what? Yes.
Do a styling session.
Please. Oh my God, that would be a really good podcast. So I am here with Colleen Conkling, SVP of Brand. Now, the brand is called, now I've always said Monica Vinader, but that's wrong, isn't it?
It is.
So how should I say it?
Monica Vinader.
Okay.
So Monica and her sister Gabby, who founded the company, they are both from Spain. So I won't do her disservice with my Spanish accent, but yes, it's Monica Vinader.
Yes. Well, there we go. I know now. Monica Vinader. And we are going to be talking today about, well, actually something that I'm very interested in, because I feel like Monica Vinader has been one of the, I guess, jewelry brands, but that has really helped kind of create this whole new, like, accessible luxury category.
Yep.
Because there used to be, well, in fact, you've got a story about this as why the brand was born, right? As the head of brand, I'm going to let you go into it.
It's actually a really wonderful story, and it's part of the reasons why I love working there. So the brand was founded in 2008 by sisters Monica and Gabby. Monica really just working out of her home. And when she started to create this jewelry, she started to talk to her friends and what would become her consumers and her customers about why they purchase jewelry. And a lot of what was happening is she was finding out that it was such a considered purchase, because jewelry, particularly fine jewelry at higher price points with gold and silver, etc., it was a considered purchase that needed to be discussed with their partners and husbands. And so Monica started to create jewelry primarily in gold vermeil, which is 100% sterling silver, covered in a thick layer of gold, at price points that were still, a premium, but were much more accessible. And women started to say, I can buy this for myself. I don't need to have a discussion with someone else. And then also she started to realize that women could buy this jewelry not only for themselves, but it didn't need to be a special occasion to buy it, that they could wear it every day, that they didn't need to wait for it to be a gift. And that's really the foundation of what Monica Vinader was. And she set the standard for the category. And today, it's interesting just to even think about that right now, because, when I was talking to Monica and hearing this story, I wouldn't even strike me that there was a time when it became such a considered purchase, and it's really revolutionized the category, where now there's a proliferation of many different brands that do it, and we welcome it. We welcome the ability for women to buy it for themselves and to have this more everyday luxury.
Yeah, it's so empowering. And I can 100% totally empathize with that, because when I was young, I'm going to give away my age here, but I always do anyway, so it doesn't matter. But say probably around that time, but your early 2000s, it was, you kind of had two choices. It was either, very, very refined, diamonds, like refined luxury jewelry, or it was junk jewelry from Topshop or something. It was, no offense, Topshop, love you, but there were two very distinct places. There was nothing that sat in between. And I think we've seen that over recent years. It's now entering other markets like handbags, and there's this, and the same with brands. We were talking about the couples, and there's this mid layer of brands that aren't, I'm not wearing Saint Laurent, sadly. I'm actually in Zara today.
Really fabulous.
Yesterday I was a little bit more designer, but I think it's been really interesting to see the industry as a whole, retail, especially for women. There's now layers to it. There's accessible layers that make you feel, I love brands like Bash, and I'm probably going to say all these brand names wrong, but Bash, Madge, the Couples.
Colleen is another great one.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, oh my God, love that brand. But, they've created, all of these brands, alongside yourselves, have created this really interesting, I think, new space that brands are showing up and playing in that are luxury, that are still accessible.
Yeah, well, what's interesting about it as well, and you're right, you've identified that we see ourselves as we're not fashion jewelry or the high street jewelry, but we're not, we'll talk about this in a minute, we do have fine jewelry, and I think that that's how the space is evolving, but those really unattainable brands. And what I like to think about is this idea of aspirational, but not unattainable. Because, there is aspiration in very high-end luxury brands, but there's price point considerations, so we talk about how that's evolving as well. that do leave it out of reach for some people. And by defining this space of accessible luxury, it's defined not necessarily just by price, but by how things are made, by the quality, the craftsmanship, the stories, the meaning behind those pieces. And it's something that you can choose to buy into, and you can feel good about that every day, and really truly make it your own.
Yeah. I guess, well, I'm going to kind of dial in. I'm going off brief, by the way. I do this all the time.
I'm here for it.
Yeah, good.
This is my jam.
As soon as we spoke, didn't we? We had a briefing call. I was like, it was great. I love this lady. We are going to have a great time on the podcast. But obviously, you're SVP of Brand.
Yeah.
So you're heading up, the brand strategy for Monica Vinader. What are the things that you need to stay true to as a brand to play in this kind of premium luxury space?
100%. The same thing that Monica founded this brand on are the same values we have today. And that is what is so important and so inspirational. So when you think about what matters to our brand, it's quality. We use exceptional materials. We have long relationships with our suppliers. We'll talk about our responsible practices in a minute. But that commitment to true quality products that are backed up with how they're made, which is design integrity. So all of our products, it's actually amazing. If you ever get a chance to go to our design studio in the British countryside in Norfolk, it's incredible. You feel like you're walking into a luxury house. Everything is so thoughtfully designed in the same way that you would expect from these very high-end luxury brands, with a lot of meaning behind it, whether it's being inspired by art, like Brand Cruzy, or whether it's being inspired by nature. We have a collection called The Wave that's inspired by the undulations of waves and seaweed, and it becomes wearable art in that way. That design integrity is really important. The third component for us is really craftsmanship, and in particular, responsible craftsmanship. We have such a commitment to ethical and responsible practices, and we think that that is part of the true nature of what craftsmanship should be. This past year, we won Positive Luxury's Responsible Jewelry Brand of the Year. Excuse me, not Responsible Jewelry Brand of the Year, Responsible Brand of the Year. So it's not just jewelry. And it reflects our deep commitment to making sure that we are constantly pushing ourselves to be better than yesterday, rather than just looking at our competition, which really sets us apart and makes us different. And then finally, there's the emotional side of our product. There's a lot of meaning, whether it's what I talked about, the art and nature, whether it's the meaning that we bring to how people are buying those pieces. Our commitment to personalization and the bespoke nature of that is really true to who we are. And that's something that has been maintained since the day that Monica designed her first piece.
Yeah. I love, honestly, I mean, I've been a fan of the brand. I'm not repping it enough today, but I am obsessed with jewelry, especially earrings. I've got some really cool earrings with me, and I've just not had time to change them this morning. I was like,
You got to get the ear stack.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I have got a bit of an ear stack going.
I know, nice.
It's gone a bit wonky, actually. I can feel it's a bit out of place.
You come get a new piercing with us.
Yes, I would love to. I need to. Oh my God, me and my daughter will so do that. Every time I go anywhere, I want to get a new piercing. But I think you guys as a brand, how do you, I guess, obviously there's so many different elements of the brand. There's obviously the product itself.
Yep.
There's the story behind the brands. There's, what the brand means and what people buy into. How do you, I guess, work with marketing and the other departments to make sure, I guess, what you go to market with is a true reflection of what you guys stand for?
Yeah, well, I think that the first thing is that we're all coordinated to that same lens. So quality, responsible craftsmanship, expression, creativity, artistry, and integrity of design and in everything we do. That is the North Star through which every piece of communication flows. It's how our products are designed. It's how we think about our store design. We actually launched a new store design about a year and a half ago or so, and really bringing that to life through durable, sustainable materials that you're seeing and the experience that you have. So all of that is very coordinated through what our brand values are, which again go back to what Monica founded the brand on. And I think that, where we see this going forward is that when you look at expanding into partners, whether that be through other retailers, Nordstrom's one of our big partners, Selfridges is one of our big partners. We look for retailers that have those shared values and those commitments. We're talking about marketing when it comes to choosing partners that have those same core values, that's what really matters. So, for example, actually just last week? It feels like a world away ago. We launched a beautiful campaign with an up-and-coming artist, Sienna Spyro. She was nominated for a Brit Award. She's got a top 10 Spotify track globally. And she really resonates with our commitment to integrity in craft, in artistry, and being true to yourself and that authenticity. And that allows us to work with partners like that might help us reach new and different audiences, but still reinforce our brand expression. I mean, you are the company you keep, right?
Yeah. I love that. My daughter, by the way, will absolutely love that. And that's smart, right? Like, you know, there is this Gen Z audience.
Yeah.
She's got me into Sienna Spiro.
Oh, she's incredible.
Her voice. Oh my goodness, she is incredible. And I love how you're looking to work with creators, influencers, celebrities in a way that really reflects the brand. I was actually talking to Karl Lagerfeld's VP of marketing, I want to say, job title. Sorry, Miriam, if you're listening and I've got that wrong. But they've been doing some work with Paris Hilton, and they've talked really deeply about how they picked and worked with, you know, why they picked and worked with her, how she kind of, you know, sits by a lot of the, you know, stands by a lot of the values that they have as a business. And I think this is what I'm really loving about how brands are, you know, working with influencers in today's world. It feels a lot more authentic, real. There's a lot of thought that goes into it, and I think Sienna Spiro is such a smart move.
Yeah.
Please tell me that you're going to do something special with her, and I can come and bring my daughter and get like cool mum quotes.
Well, if you go into any of our stores this weekend, you can get entered to win tickets to her concert. You can also she did a little doodle for us, and so you can get her design drawn doodle as one of our engravings on any of our products that we do engravings on as well. So really great integration and partnership there. And I think that you're speaking to something that is really important to us. Like Monica Vinader has been very thoughtful with the kind of partners that we've chosen, whether it be influencers, whether it be other brands, whether it be people, because we want to make sure there's that sense of authenticity and shared values. I've worked on a lot of partnerships in my lifetime, and it's the ones that really you're building upon those shared values, and you're really integrating to like have it feel authentic and do something for each other. With Sienna, it's natural. It's not just about her having a moment. It's that we are able to be with her at that moment with the shared values and something that she's genuinely excited about as well. And so, you know, it's truly lightning in a bottle, and we're very excited. We're pulling for her at the Brit Awards as well.
Yes. Yeah, honestly, I'm going to buy my daughter some of that jewellery, and your jewellery, but with the engraving.
That's great.
It's her 18th birthday this year.
She'll love it.
Yeah,
you can get her. We're also engraving her lyrics, "You Stole the Show," on our bracelets, which is just a fabulous phrase anyways, but go and get it.
Oh my God, that's so what I'm going to get. Oh no, don't watch this, Lola. She never watches the podcast anyway. She doesn't watch it. You know, I'm not like, to her, I'm not cool. But this is going to help me be cool.
Excellent.
So, thank you. You've kind of tapped into what was going to be my closing question, is how, as a brand, because you guys were one of the, in my mind, there's been lots of other entrants into the market. Like you say, you see them as complementary.
Yeah.
But how do you make sure that as a brand you stay relevant? Well, I think you've kind of, with Sienna Spiro, you can see the collaborations, but what other things do you do as a brand to make sure that you're keeping up with culture, staying relevant, bringing into this younger audience?
Yeah, so I think it's really interesting, like, just to take a step back of like what this concept of relevance is and how we think about our competition. So, hearkening back to one of the things that I said before is that I see our competition. I want to know what they're doing, but our mindset is that we always want to be better than we were yesterday. How are we our most intense competition in terms of how we're showing up for our consumers with our products, with our commitment to sustainability and changing the industry with that, and also showing up in a culturally relevant way. What's really interesting is you tapped into something is that for me, cultural relevance isn't just about how are we reaching a younger consumer or how are we being there at that hot moment. It's about thinking about how our values are coming through in those. So, whether that is showing up with the Sienna Spiro and looking for the next musician, or whether that's thinking about how we're building stories around expression and creativity and supporting artistry in different ways, which we'll be doing in some of our campaigns that are coming up in the future that I can't tip into all of those. But I think that at the end of the day, that relevance comes back to, are your values coming through with it? Rather, are you just a me too? One thing that I have to say is there's a lot of jewelry brands have gone into the tennis space. We're not there. And that's purposeful right now, because I think that, we need to think about how, when we are the spaces, that relevance matters to us.
Yeah, not just jumping on any trend because it's a trend. It's about being authentic to it. And sometimes the trends will fit, right?
Yep.
Sometimes they won't.
Exactly. Yeah.
Not every trend is the trend for you.
Yeah.
one last question.
Of course.
We are at Shoptalk Luxe.
Yes.
What have you heard, learned, seen? Anything exciting? Any trends that you want to share from your experience at the show so far?
This is a good one. AI, wow. AI is a trend. And so I've got a couple things. I'm going to give you a couple of answers.
Come on, love this. This is what I need.
The first is AI. And through the lens of Monica Vinader, this world is in luxury, this concept of luxury there's a community element to it, and there's wanting to be a part of something for it. And in this world where things are becoming more artificial and bifurcated, etc., I do think that there's an opportunity for luxury brands to break through with tactility, with realness, with authenticity. And I think that that's something that very much resonates for Monica Vinader. We have that inherent in our brand. We are the brand. We like to say there's this word, touched by 1,000 thumbs, that by the time you get that piece of jewelry, there's 1,000 thumbs that have touched it and molded it and created and crafted it. And bringing those tactile stories to life to break through in a world of AI to build community is really important. I think that the second thing is this, and I've heard this idea of desirability over and over again. And, when I think about, like, Virgil Abloh said that luxury is to covet. It is the ability to covet something, and that moving from price to covetability and from cost to desirability and cultivating that in new and exciting ways. And in particular for a brand like Monica Vinader, where we exist in this space of this affordable luxury, what does that mean? It means craft. It means storytelling. It means exceptional design integrity. And it means really making meaning and expression relevant to your consumer in a way that connects with them, so that luxury becomes their ability and their permission to have something that has that meaning, that has that craft, that has that connection to them.
I love this. I can just see your passion as well. You're brilliant, honestly. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you for having me.
I feel like I could have you on forever, and I just want to ask you about a million other things. But
well, I'm happy to come back, and I'll bring some jewelry next time so we can do a styling session.
Can we?
Yeah.
Could we do that?
100%.
When you're next in London,
yes,
let's do it. We could even come. Sorry, guys, this is what's happening next. We could even come into Selfridges.
Oh, love that. Come to our store. Come to our Duke of York store, our flagship store. We'll do it up.
Guys, this is basically a trailer for the next one.
Anyone, and there's a public service announcement. Come, we've got book a styling appointment. Come to any of our stores. We'll style you.
Yeah,
our stylists in our stores are better at styling than I am. So there you go.
Maybe I'm going to get my daughter to come. We'll style her for her 18th.
Love it with the Sienna Sky.
It's happening. Oh my God, she will. I will be cool. I will get cool mum creds.
Awesome.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You're amazing.
Lovely.
Yeah, so good.